Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us, and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week's topic is social media planning. Before that, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
Okay, I'm going to have a whinge and a win, and it's nothing to do with writing, but we were just talking about this before we started recording, and that is that I've had to do so much adulting this last week. Loads of things, like I'm trying to sell a car, and I now have to get a windscreen repaired, and I had to switch broadband providers, which meant having to talk to people on the phone, and it's just like, it's too much adulting, and I don't like it, but at the same time, I do feel like I've accomplished something, and I'm feeling like this is a good time for me to be doing everything that I'm doing, like with the books, and I don't know, I feel like I've jumped a hurdle in some way. Like, I can be an adult, like that's fine. Throw things at me. I don't like it, but I can do it. So I'm going to take it as a silver lining that it didn't kill me to have to be an adult. I just wasn't really happy about it.
That is so tedious, though. I have done a lot of adulting recently as well because it's coming up to the anniversary of my house move, so all everything comes together at once, all the renewals, and you have to think, do I want to just let it roll over, even though they're increasing it by £100, or do I have the mental energy to go and find a new quote and talk to them and faff about that? It's so boring, and I feel like it just takes exact energy that I would otherwise use for like thinking about plots.
Yep, that's what AI should be doing. I need an AI like assistant. I need an iRobot just to do the stuff that I don't want to do. Like I said to my work colleagues today, like, I'm just a child. I shouldn't be doing this.
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a baby. I'm a 39-year-old baby. I can't be calling people and sorting things out like this. It's not fair. And I don't like it. I'm just a baby. I always say that. Nobody ever gets that reference. I'm just a baby.
I just think about it all the time. Baby. Okay, so that's your whinge. Have you also got a win, or just are you all whinge this week?
I'm winning in that it didn't kill me. It made me. What doesn't kill me make me stronger. I feel like I have. I've put on my big girl pants and I have come out stronger, but just a little tired.
Yeah. I also have a similar whinge, but I'm trying to just put it behind me now because I achieved the last thing off the list today of cancelling one more type of insurance because I set up another type of insurance, which is just so tedious and boring to think about. I just don't care enough. If it didn't cost any money, I wouldn't care at all. So it's very annoying that it costs money. I do have loads of wins though. It was my parents' wedding this weekend. I sang. I got many compliments. The chapel had fantastic acoustics, so I sounded even better than I normally sound. It was so good.
Amazing.
And I just finished a book last week as well. Managed to hit that deadline. I've been going to the gym. Just went to the gym before this. I feel this also they're making me kind of think. I find it really a pain or a struggle when I get out of good habits. I find it really hard to get back into them. When I'm in it, I think, why would I ever stop doing this? It's so good.
Yeah.
Eating right, exercising, doing all the things. This is just perfect. Why do I ever stop this? How could it even possibly happen? I don't know. And then you get ill and then you're suddenly like, oh, I'm a slug. I live in the slug land now. I find it sort of frustrating to think that in one part of my mind, I believe this is now my permanent true self. Another part of my mind knows you could lose it at any moment.
Yeah.
This is not the real you.
I feel that like deep in my soul. But I feel like because we both had such like adulting, like life admin-y weeks, maybe the universe is just trying to kind of give us a taste of what it's going to be like as we kind of venture into being self-employed authors, like, we're gonna have to do the big girl stuff. And look, it's actually like annoying, but it's not that hard. Once you get to it, it's fine. So I'm taking it as a life lesson of like, oh yeah, like, it might be annoying, but if this is what it takes to be an adult and run a business, it's okay. It's okay.
It's absolutely okay. I think the big part of it is just like I resent using my free time to do it when I could be using that free time to write, and I already have to work. It feels like work. It feels like unpaid
Yeah.
work, which I guess it is,
Yeah.
because it's also very
Yeah.
similar to what I do in my regular job. It's like organizing things and researching things and making calls to get price and stuff. Like, I'm not being paid for this. Why is no one paying for me for this? I get paid for this normally. So yes,
Yeah.
has felt very tedious, but I have felt good about lots of other things, and I'm just trying to be very mindful about like, how did I get back into these habits? How can I reinforce them and keep them going? I didn't want to go to the gym this evening at all. Like, I am feeling quite sort of that post stressful time stress. Like, I think I'm very good at like putting aside stress and not paying attention to it when I'm in it. So last week, with like finishing a book and prepping for this wedding song and then going to the wedding, it wasn't horrible stressful, but it was like a lot full on, as well as life admin stuff. But I didn't really feel it until the after effects. And then today I just felt really stressed all day. I didn't sleep that well. And then really just did not want to go to the gym. But I did it and I felt better. And now I'm here. But I live in like the sense of the parallel universe in which I didn't go to the gym. And then I never go to the gym again. That wouldn't
Yes.
happen. It felt good. Yeah. And it was easy. It's 5 minutes from my house. So it's as little barrier to entry as possible for that activity. And it was nice.
Yeah, I had a similar-ish thing on Sunday where I really wanted a rest day on Sunday, and I ended up, I think, maybe doing 18,000 steps and was digging at the allotment. It's like, it's not what I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I did feel really good about it. Like, I was just like, oh, I was active, it was good, but yeah, I didn't want it until I had it, and then I was happy about it. I don't know where that was going, but I'm just in obviously a rambling mood.
I feel like I'm also in a rambling mood today. I think that's partly because both of us are trying to put off talking about the topic of the day. At least I definitely am a little bit.
Yes, so we are talking about social media planning today. So, what are your plans, if you have any, and how do you make them happen? You can answer the question first.
I mean, I wrote the question because I write the rundown every week. And as I wrote it, I thought, I'm going to be so annoyed having to answer that. So I don't want to give my answer. So I think we've talked about this topic a number of times. And I think partly why I mean, often we pick topics that we think is a thing we actually want to work on, and we want to have the podcast episode as a deadline for us to work on it. But also, I think sometimes it is useful for us to have topics such as, like, we've had a few on finance that kind of recur. We've had a few on social media before. It's hopefully useful for listeners to hear that, like, these things come up and we haven't talked about it once and fixed it. I have definitely made progress since our last chat on social media. And I'm at a sticking point where I don't really know what's holding me up, and I kind of wanted to have a chat through what's holding me up. So where I was at previously, maybe before we started meeting at all, was I would post sometimes, and without, I've got like some sense of branding. Like, there are definitely lots of things that felt like they tied into coziness, and lots of things that tied into like, the brand that I hadn't quite elucidated but was still working towards, of just like kind of quintessentially British mysteries. So I'd got posts about that, but fairly irregular because I wasn't trying to keep to a schedule. And then I'd maybe have a couple months where I felt kind of disengaged from it. And when I'm saying posting, I really mean like Instagram, because that's like a thing that I quite like. I like taking pictures. I'm quite visual in that sense. So I enjoyed it. I really have never enjoyed being on Facebook. I haven't really tried TikTok, like a tiny bit, but just to kind of see how it works. So I was doing very sporadic posting, kind of just for me, like as much as I enjoyed it. And then if I wasn't enjoying it, I would stop. And then we've talked a few times about social media, and one thing we've talked a lot about is, or that has stuck with me a lot, was about posting more on Facebook in order to kind of gain your credibility with Facebook and improve your ads. But also, I've been rubbish at doing my ads, so it's just another thing that I haven't done. And I think, and so social media, so I have improved, or I have done things that I thought were the obstacle. So what I thought was the obstacle was I didn't really know what I wanted to post. I didn't have any sort of plan. So I would just kind of do it ad hoc, and it would take a lot of starting energy because I'd have to think about it. Or I would do it when it felt easy and then just stop when it didn't feel easy. So I really had no professionalism around my posting. And then one of my Q1 goals, even I think, was to kind of like improve social media posting. And we've gone backwards and forwards on this. I think I've actually declared on the podcast before, like, I'm definitely doing it. I'm going to 100% social media. And then maybe a few months later, be like, I'm never doing social media. It's not effective. It's not impactful. And now I'm not necessarily back to the beginning, but I think one thing I wanted to do was kind of feel like it was more, I wanted to research it more, I guess, and like have more of a sense of what might I use it for? How would I get something out of it? How do other people get things out of it? Because you just
Mhm.
hear so often in writers groups like, oh, TikTok has made me a quadrillionaire in my sleep. It's so easy. And I'm exaggerating, but it's how I feel sometimes these posts because I don't use
Yeah.
TikTok at all. And then I've got friends who do make money from TikTok, and it's very, very dedicated, specific work that I don't know if I should do. Like, I think I could do, and then I think, oh, should I get tempted into like seeing how that works? And so I kind of go round and round about this. And I'm not saying this to kind of say this is what you should do. I just kind of, it's interesting, I think, sometimes to hear other people's processes and thought processes. So I've gone around and around a bit on it. Where I wanted to get up to it, as I said, was I wanted to kind of get past some things that I'd previously thought were barriers. So what I've now done is research comp authors who are similar enough to me that I think we have the same audience, who I know are making very good money and who do it, or at least part of their success is attributable to social media posting. And looking at those comp authors and looking kind of what they post, what people respond to, I made myself a list of uh, post types, post types that I wanted to do, and I think I had 15 post types, and I wrote them out, and I had 12 of those could be batched, so I could do them in big groups, and I've put it on my chore chart, which I am very good about doing. Right, apart from this one thing, on my chore chart every week is like social media content prep, and it is just such a big job, and I don't have enough of why for it. I don't have enough reason,
Yeah.
and what I'm kind of coming around to, and this is again not really an answer, but it's kind of where I'm stuck at the moment, or what I'm being drawn to thinking about a lot at the moment is like and we talked about this, is like find the thing that um you find easy and that
Yeah.
you find easy and is impactful. And when you keep hearing something again and again, you're like, oh, this is obviously a message that I'm wanting to hear because I keep picking it out. I just listening to a Becca Syme episode, which I absolutely can't remember what it is, so I can't find it because it was a good one. I'll have a look. But it was an episode of Becca's Quickcast that was about lots of things. And one thing though she mentioned, and it was about, she's got this idea about kind of picking the thing that only you can do. And the thing I think about social media is there's nothing there that only I can do, and that feels like I am drawn to it. So conversely,
Mhm.
and I'll give you a chance to speak in a minute. I know I've just spoken for ages. Conversely, I have just upped my newsletter to once a week rather than once a month. And that has felt, and to some people that would be an absolute nightmare, and that has felt incredibly easy to me. I get
Yeah.
great responses from my readers. It's fun, it's easy. I've got a process for it. And in fact, I write most of it at my roller skating group on Tuesday nights. So I'll roller skate for a bit, then I'll come off and write a paragraph that I've pre-planned, take a break so I don't fall over, roller skate for a bit, come off, write a bit more, roller skate, come off. So by the end of roller skating, not only have I had great exercise and looked really cool, I've also written my whole newsletter in my Notion app on my phone. And the next day at lunchtime, in the middle of work, I can transfer it across to my newsletter format and then send it out. And it is so easy for me. And in fact, I was talking to a friend about that, and they were complimenting the writing of it. And I was like, oh, I just write it between roller skating. I was like, that I cannot believe that, because it feels like something that you really put dedicated thought into. I was like, I kind of do. Like, I've spent ages on my newsletter, and I've spent a long time. I'm a writer. Like, I've spent a lot of time honing my voice. So that, and it's really, um, it feels very like something I should pay attention to. How fun and easy I find it to write my newsletter versus how much I hate the idea of social media posting. And I don't know if it's just because I haven't found the way to do it. So I kind of wanted to
Mhm.
bring a problem to the podcast today rather than necessarily bring any sort of like, here's my progress. You can all do the same too. It's more like, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing and I sort of hate it. I don't have a reason to do it.
Right.
Where are you up to with yours?
I want to jump in on yours first before I start talking about me.
Hmm.
Is that because you do your weekly newsletter, is there any way that you can turn your newsletter into posts? And I mean, like, if you're talking about what you've been doing that week, could you like take a snippet and turn it into a post?
I could absolutely. I have the same 3 to 4 features almost every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a weekly format and a monthly format. So they're very slightly different. But I have like, here's the book I've been reading this week. Here's a link to it. Here's why I love it. And it's always a book that is similar to the book that I'm writing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll have like a themed collection of like pictures of my cats,
Mm-hmm.
and something about them. And how my writing's going this week. And all of those have got pictures to go with them. They're pre-selected pictures, often groups of
So
3s.
you
The
you
writing is
do
done.
have
I'm aware I'm just
content.
describing. It's not that I don't have content, because I have got a plan, and I've got a plan based on something I know works and something I could do. So
Yeah.
the obstacle isn't really,
The
yeah, and
obstacle
maybe the
isn't
obstacle to me
doing
partly
it.
is that like it's a lot of, yeah, it's the work.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is
just
doing
think
it.
it is really
Yeah.
demoralizing when it isn't impactful. So
Right.
and we've had
But
this exact conversation before. I'm very aware of that, of like,
yeah.
social media hasn't, like, no one sees your Instagram.
No.
But it does just feel like, I don't know,
It's so difficult. So
maybe, yeah.
it's because like I saw a reel today and it was like somebody I don't even know, it just came up like as a recommended. It's not somebody I follow. I was just scrolling, as you do. And her Instagram, her reel was her just like sat at her desk, like just doing whatever. And the caption was not stressing about Instagram posts, knowing that my like 90% of my business comes from Google. And I just thought that's like, yeah, she's not
Mhm.
looking to turn her Instagram into like that's not really part of her funnel.
Mhm.
And I thought like that's really interesting. Like I'm trying to turn, I mean, and for writers I think Instagram is a part of the funnel, but it's not the only part of the funnel. So that's really
Mm.
like my mentality, like the way that I'm kind of looking at social media at the moment is like I'm trying to really figure out which platform is going to like which one works best for me, and I haven't really figured that out yet because I don't know which one has converted like followers into readers. Like I haven't really got that data.
I've genuinely had an epiphany while you've been talking, because I was just trying to figure out,
Okay.
like, why do we keep coming back to this? Like, why do we ever talk about social media when we know, for us so far, it has, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard to get even views on your social media posts.
Mm-hmm.
And like, my epiphany was talking was like, the reason why I keep going back to social media and that I think I should use it in my business is because I spend so much time on social media. So it
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
that should have value. And
Yeah.
I spend it not mindfully, but I spend it being aware that I am very productive. Oh, that's a big horn outside, sorry. I'm very productive, and I utilize all the hours of the day to very well. So like today I don't write on Mondays, so I have worked. This lunchtime I prepped my newsletter, I have been to the gym, I have joined a conference call for other cozy authors, and now I'm recording the podcast. That's enough. Right, that's enough. I've also watched an episode of a mystery TV show that was recommended by another cozy author. And now I just think that seems like too much for one day. How did I even fit that in? But I've also fit in being on social media, which for me is my like
Mm-hmm.
just detachment from the world time. It gives me like a
Yeah.
real break from having to think about things, and it's
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just my like grind mindset that says like you must also monetize this and
Mm-hmm.
make it useful.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's the sort of kind of epiphany I've been having recently is the best posts or the posts that do the best for me on social media are like my silly lip syncing,
Mhm,
just like me making
mhm.
stupid faces posts, which I
You're so
actually
good at it
love.
though.
I
Yeah.
love to do it because I'm so like I've always been like this in my family. I'm like the ridiculously dramatic person in the family. I'm the person who every Christmas when I was a kid put on a show every Christmas. Like, like everyone sit down I'm going to mime Barbie girl and dance. That I was that kid.
Okay.
Went down in history. That was a really good Christmas. So like it really like I think that doing those posts really showed my personality, and I really enjoy it, and they
Mm,
do really well. So then when my other posts, which are my sales posts, fall flat, I'm like, oh, it's like it feels so rubbish. But then like people go on Instagram for fun,
yeah.
and
And I think what's
maybe I
interesting
should be
actually is,
catering to that.
yeah, but you've done those Instagram, like bookstagrammer people. You sent them packages,
Mm-hmm.
and their
Yeah.
videos, like, because I've watched them because you link them in your stories, and I'll click and watch them.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are open the packages, they have got such the same vibe as you. Like they open them with so
Mm-hmm.
much enthusiasm. I can imagine you guys being friends in real life.
Yeah.
And I think that is what, like, putting out that side of yourself on Instagram has got you, is people who are
Yeah.
like engaging with an authentic version of you. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what to
Yeah.
do around that with
But
social media.
I No, I know it's difficult because it's obviously different for everybody. You think that there should be a set thing to do. So I've got on my
Mm,
wall a social media plan, and I've written down what I want to post every day. And to
mm,
be fair, I haven't taken into account like how much, like what percentage I should be selling and what percentage I should not be selling. But
mm,
I have got like, on a Monday, do my weekend wrap up, which I do like to do. Like I do that anyway. And then on a Tuesday, do like a book with a call to action and all this stuff. But that's not me. That's
yeah,
what I think how the business
that's
should
social
run.
media, Sam.
Yeah, that's social media, Sam. And I think that social media, Sam, I think it's like way too like restrictive. And whilst
Mm,
it is helpful to like keep my head in the game and be like, there are certain like calls to actions that I've written down and ways to try and connect to readers based on emotion and all that stuff. So it is helpful, but like it's such a chore making just a still post with a picture of a book and a quote. I just feel
yeah.
like would I interact with that? I mean, I do interact with that because I do save other people's posts because that's how I come up with ideas of what to post. Is that the things that I've liked throughout the week, I save them
Mm,
into a folder, and then at the weekend I look through and I'm like, okay, I'll make these posts.
hmm.
But I don't know, like they don't feel like me, and they're not getting any interaction. So
Yeah.
how can I put my like humor and silliness from my stupid
Mm.
reels into the posts about the book? That's the difficult part for me.
I mean, maybe you just don't, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
maybe
if
I
you were
don't.
never going to use it for sales and you were just trying to say, like, I'm just, I quote unquote brand building, which sounds really,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know, it
but it's
sounds very
yeah.
apocalyptic.
But it is. But I want to attract the people who find me like
Mm,
semi amusing because my personality obviously goes into the books. So
yeah.
like I am a personality writer. I do like to put a lot of myself and like have quirky characters and like a bit
Mm,
snarky people, and like it all comes from me. So
mm.
I don't know.
And
Like
I feel like
I'm not very
maybe,
disconnected.
yeah, I think we might have even come to the same epiphany last time we talked about this topic.
Hmm.
And I think where we came to it was like social media is maybe a good place for you to just refine that side of yourself and then present it in your newsletter
Yes.
to people who actually are engaged with you.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think I really want to. I am drawn to it. Like I have enjoyed in the past. I've enjoyed posting on social media, and I have had Instagram for a long time, and I love sharing like pictures of nice things that I see. And I do a lot of things that
You
cozy
do
readers
do a
would
lot of
love. So I
things.
think that's
Yes.
I do a
Just
lot of
in
things that
general,
cozy readers would
you
love.
do a lot of
Yes.
things.
Mhm. So in the past when I was like sharing posts, it felt very easy. I didn't feel like I was struggling to find content, but it felt like my content was not at all um deliberate. And so then I've kind of got to stage of like, oh, I must make it more productive. I must make it, you know, sell books. And part of the problem is like I just end up having my posts seen by like my friends and family,
Hmm.
which feels sort of pointless. Or I could figure out like sometimes you get a post uh to get a bigger audience, but it was always outside of my book like communities. So like a lot of stuff that I post about like nice properties in rural England, like beautiful country houses. And it's like there's a lot of country
Hmm.
house people on Instagram. They love looking at them, but they're not cozy readers. So then what's the
Yeah.
point of like trying to expand your network to people who are not useful?
Yeah.
Um I think it feels very demoralizing that we've come onto the same space again. And I do sort of wonder what
I
what
don't
was
feel
our
demoralized. No, I
you don't
feel
feel
like I
demoralized. That's
no, no, I do. I feel like this has been an epiphany because, like, last week we were talking about
mm,
launch plans, and we were talking about how book funnel and building a mailing list
mm,
is the key to a successful publishing career because those people are already signed up to hear from you and to buy your books. So that
mm,
really is like the key part of the business is getting people to sign up to your mailing list because you know that they are committed, like way more committed than a social media follow. So I
mm,
think that maybe like I always feel like social media is the top of my list for like the most important thing that I have to do to be out there and to find
mm,
readers. But I'm starting to reshuffle that and think like I don't think that's right for me. I don't think that
mm,
that's. I think it's the best place for me to socialize with readers
mm,
and have that be like the fun thing that it's for, like it was supposed to be in the first place. I think that they have like duped me into thinking that I should be a business person on there,
mm.
and that's not where business Sam comes into play.
Yeah, I think of my social media down the list. Like it feels disposable to me,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why I've to extent disposed of it. And my newsletter is like
Mm-hmm.
where I first announce things and first share things, and it's where I give free content. That's the only place you can get free content from me, like that's additional to like a prequel. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I think I've just kind of got this lingering sense that like I should be doing something different. And I think a lot of people do. A lot of people are trying to do all the things. And this is also what Becca was talking about in the podcast I listened to, was just like people need to stop trying to do all the things. And I really,
Mm-hmm.
really do want to lean into like do the things that you are uniquely good at.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe find a way to bring that energy that I have in my newsletter to my social media. Um,
Yeah.
and and try that rather than trying to like model myself on successful authors in the business and just do what they do, because to me that would feel draining. So the person who
Mm-hmm.
I think in the cozy sphere who does really fantastic job of social media and puts a huge amount of effort into it is Ellie Alexander,
Mm-hmm.
who has a new podcast called Reality Rights, which I think I've recommended before, but I'm going to put in the show notes again because if you're not
Yeah.
listening to it, listen, because it is eye-opening in terms of how much she does. And she is mostly a trad author and does more work than any indie author, you know, absolutely more. And like holds herself to a very specific standard, I think maybe because she's trad. So she does a lot of things very intensively. Whereas I think an indie
Mm-hmm.
author might feel a little bit more like you can kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. I think
Yeah.
she feels like she has to approach everything very professionally. Um, so yeah, her podcast is interesting. She also has her husband does a lot of work with her as well on this. So he comes from like I think like a techie marketingy background, so has a lot of useful skills. But their podcast is them talking quite frankly about like how much effort they put into things. And they had a really good episode where they talked about kind of their marketing and what had been effective and the places where they'd wasted energy. And for them it is useful, right? Because they have got a lot of engagement with all their posts. They get a lot of um interaction with their readers on there. I think it does a lot to drive sales. Like you can see
Mm-hmm.
Alexander as we speak, she's got like 2 books in the top 100 cozy, at least maybe 3. Um, but listening to her podcast was really eye opening just in terms of like how professionally she does it. But I think she genuinely enjoys it, and I genuinely don't. Like I like it. I think the
Yeah.
problem is I like doing the little like occasional posts of like nice places I've been and nice cakes I've
Mm-hmm.
eaten and like cute quirky things around my house, and I don't like the next step to like professionalize it, and so I'm just sort of stuck at thinking, oh, Ellie Alexander does that, so I should do that. So then
Mm-hmm.
I do nothing because I'm not doing that. It's so much work.
Yeah. I think that's it, and we know that you have a very all or nothing mindset when it comes to,
Mm,
like, you're such a perfectionist that if you can't do the thing that you think is going to work, you don't want to do it.
mm. I'm also
And
very busy, so it's like
like,
I
yeah,
think
exactly,
if
and
I
you're
had
very
more time,
busy.
yeah, if I had more
Yeah.
time, I would love to do some of the stuff she did. Like I would find it really fun.
Hmm.
But if I'm like, I would have to be not sleeping to do the amount of work that she does on her social media,
Yeah.
and I don't want that
It's
for myself.
yeah. If that's not the life that you're wanting, then
Mhm.
maybe don't try. I mean, I do think that you like. I don't think there's anything wrong with your, like, what you post on social media. I don't think, like, I don't know. You don't seem invisible on social media, um, and you have a really thriving email, like, mailing list, and you
Mm,
do that side of things so well. Like, I'm really bad at that side of things, and like, I just wish that I could get my head into the game like you when it comes to emailing stuff. So, like, that's good enough.
mm,
And if you're on top of that and you're doing that, I mean, and that is social media. It's just like unseen social media. So you are
yeah,
doing, like, if you're doing that every week, then you are winning at something.
yeah, and
And
I think
like,
you're right. Like I could just try taking that same concept that I already have set up and
mm,
saved, and it's on my phone because I put it in specific folders that I can access from my
hmm,
phone. Why not just copy that across and see how it works and see if I
yeah,
can get some engagement there? And if not,
yeah,
like, because they're all things I like posting about. Like, they're not things that I have had to work hard to like really jam into a certain structure.
yeah,
So maybe try that and like mix it in with just I don't know, like pictures of nice cakes I've eaten, which is my favorite sort of post.
exactly. Exactly, and that's what people expect from cozies. It's like they want
Hmm.
that, especially if you've got a large American audience. They love
Hmm.
seeing the cutesy British stuff. So,
Mm.
like, why not give
And
it
I'm
to them?
surrounded
Why
by
not give
it.
them? Yeah,
It
exactly.
allows
Why
me with the
not give them,
stuff.
like, the quirky things that you've got in your house and the cakes that you're
Mm.
eating and the countryside walks that you're going on? Um, like, give it to them.
Yeah, I walked some alpacas last week or a couple weeks ago. Delightful.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like it should be in a cozy mystery.
I know. Spent the weekend in like a 17th century old chapel when my parents got married in a tiny little hamlet
Hmm.
which had nothing but this chapel and one old inn in it. Also, very mysterious. I want to find out more reason behind it. The next village along was called like something like Blubber Houses or like Blubber
Oh.
Houses something. But it's like it's not near the sea, so why Blubber Houses? I'm so intrigued, and I feel like I'm going to research this and maybe write a whole newsletter about it. I think that's also what I need to do
Hmm.
more of. Is just like I love things like that. Like I
Hmm.
love quirky English things, and I've got so yeah, this is the all or nothing thing. Like hung up on I should make it more productive, but like I could just enjoy my social media more and just find a way to like find a better. Like it's a good excuse to be on social media the amount I would like to be and
Yeah,
pretend to myself
yeah,
it's for good reason,
yeah.
which I would
Well,
like.
that's it. Like, today, before, like, we did this, and I was like, oh, I need to batch some content, and I just batched like 10 silly videos that I'm going to post throughout the week. And I was
Mhm,
thinking, like, oh, I really need to figure out what I'm going to post in between them. But I was like, I know I've got a book coming out, so I do need to do like some teaser videos and some quotes and stuff.
mhm.
But at the same time, like, I think I'm just gonna start being silly on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, let's just
Okay.
see what
If you're gonna be
happens.
silly on the internet, I'm just gonna be like cute and quirky on the internet.
Yeah, you be
Yeah.
cute and quirky. I'll just be silly. Yeah,
Sweet.
it'll all be fun. And I forgot to say that as part of my like, one of my wins this week was that one of the Bookstagram people that I sent my book to posted a really nice video. Um, that was a good win, and
Mhm.
that was a good social media win for me. She has over 15,000 followers. So, like, why not
Mhm.
let somebody else do my social media for me by sending books out?
And she was so enthusiastic about it.
Yes, there were some nice comments as well, so that was
Mhm.
nice. I'll keep creeping the comments like, oh, anybody, anybody
You
gonna
see, the
take a
best
bite?
thing about yeah, like the best thing about this is like how much people love the little bookmarks that you made, which are just they're so personal and so handmade. Like you, so if anyone's
Yeah.
not seen Sam's social media, which you should watch, she,
Mm-hmm.
I, what's the tool called? I've no idea, but she like wood burned her own little bookmarks.
I've got actually got the box here, so I can read it off this box.
Pyrography.
Pyro,
Pyrographer?
pyrography. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
don't don't have words like that. I can't pronounce words like that. And so effectively, yeah, it's like it's kind of like a soldering iron, but instead of
Yeah.
solder, it's got different kind of like pen nibs and things, and like some of them are moon shaped, which was just like a win because it came with a little half moon thing,
Mhm.
and you just burn into wood. So I made some very cutesy personalized bookmarks for people that had Heart of Curse of the Wild. They were for so Curse of the Wild, and they had a kind of like wolfy design on one side. So some of them had claw marks, some of them had wolves howling at the moon, which I drew on. Oh my god, it was. And then the other side
They
had
look so
quotes.
good.
It was,
Mhm.
and as actually somebody who said that it was their business and they make them, said like that was impressive that I had like handwritten in like a
Mhm.
handwriting script, had
Mhm.
managed to burn these quotes. It took so long. It looks like it'll be fast. It's not fast. It's so slow. But if you're like a hobby collector like me, it was a fun
Mhm.
few hours.
Yeah, I do love a new hobby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
such a good example of just like really leading a thing that only you can do, right? You like a good new hobby. You
Yeah.
again have a lot of confidence. Like I would say my issue with that would have been like, oh, they're not like 1,000% perfect, so I can't send them out. I must
Yeah.
keep practicing
I
for
didn't
10 years
care.
until I'm an expert
No,
pyrographer.
I'm a 50% person. I'm a finish it to 50% and then think, yeah, I'm done. That was my problem at
Mhm.
school, and that's my problem in real life. But you know what? I'm still here,
It's not a problem because
thriving.
people absolutely love it. And like
Yeah.
the alternative, if it's me, like I haven't done any of that. They've got nothing from me. No one's
Mm-hmm.
ever received a handmade bookmark from me. Probably like since I was a little kid and forced to make them at school at some point or in the brownies. But
Mm-hmm.
not like I haven't sent like your packages look so good and were so well appreciated.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah. That was
yeah, and that
a
is an
really fun
example of like
thing.
leaning into what only you can do
Yeah.
and making the most of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel inspired.
Yeah.
I think it's useful to like talk through a thing that we have a hang up on because I think a lot of people have the same with social
Yeah.
media, sort of feeling like I should be doing something and I keep coming back to it and I don't know what I'm meant to be doing and it
It
doesn't feel
feels
useful
so.
anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't feel useful unless you hit it big. The minor little fluctuations where you might get a few
Mm,
followers or you might get like 1,000 views on something, those like little fluctuations of oh how exciting, and then always like it's always dragged down by you do a post and 7 people see it.
hmm mm,
I think until you hit big numbers, it just feels so difficult, and I'm kind of just sick of feeling like I'm not doing well at it because I am
mm,
doing well enough that I'm showing up every day, and I have got followers and I have got readers who like are excited to read my next book. Like that's good enough. Like, and
yeah.
I'm just hoping that like eventually that'll grow, and it has to grow because every time I put a new book out, like the ball will continue to roll,
hmm
and I'll gather the moss and all that. Just do all the random
Yeah.
analogies that don't make any sense. But yeah, like eventually it will just get better and bigger.
hmm
I'm
Yeah,
not
and I
going to stress
think why
about it
not like
anymore.
enjoy yourself along the way? I think
Yeah,
social media thing that I do not think I want to try and like figure out how to make it a business component. I think I just want
yeah,
to find a way to have fun with it that does something to represent my brand because I know some people on social media, like in my newsletter, I've got at the bottom my social links and every time
mm-hmm.
like someone clicks through. So clearly some people want to be following us on socials, but I have just done nothing for months because I've been sort of paralyzed. Been like, I'll return to it when I've got my like incredibly complex, detailed posting schedule sorted with these like
Mm-hmm.
videos that I do every few days that I'll somehow magically find the time to make. Um, and I'm not gonna do that. So I think what I need to do is just start with something and then
Yeah,
see what I feel like doing.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I
And it's
think
an
that's
area to
probably the
be,
best view is just use the
yeah,
content that you've already got and repurpose it.
mm,
That's the most
mm,
efficient thing you could be doing right now.
mm. Yeah, better than nothing, and I would enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all things that I like sharing. So
Yeah,
yes, I shall do that. Hopefully, anyone listening who is kind of stuck in a similar place, yeah, hope this has been helpful. Also, yeah,
yeah.
do reach out to us. We post on social media. I don't know if you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
We post on social media. We're on Instagram, and to Paycheck Authors on there.
And
But
that
we
one
did like,
is like we stick to that like
yeah,
pretty well, and
we do.
there's
But that one I think
there's
is a good
less
one because like
silliness, but
yeah, there is less silliness, but also that is clearly a brand, right? It's not a person,
Yes.
so it's
Yeah.
easier to kind of see what should you do with it,
Hmm.
and we have set it up to use the content with the minimal effort. So we use Click the
Yes.
podcast, and
Hmm.
we have the app we use to do the program we use to do the podcast makes those for us. It clips them for us, and we batch created some other content that we thought would work well,
Yeah.
and with minimal effort. So yeah, and we're not necessarily looking to have a feeling, like have an engagement on a human level. I think we're very much been like, we have a presence, we want people to be engaging on some way, but
Hmm.
um yeah, but there's not really a way to do it. Yeah, the podcast is a thing, right? And like the books are the
Yes.
thing with your own
Yeah.
writing. And yeah, maybe Instagram is not the best place to find the readers who will fund my career. I think that's putting
Yeah.
too much pressure on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just for cute pictures.
Yeah. And it's putting too much pressure on like the people that like friends, not just friends and family, but any acquaintance that you have on Instagram. If they don't buy your book, if they're liking your post but not buying your book, you kind of like it's putting like a weird. It does for me anyway. It kind of gives me like a weird thing,
Mhm.
like, oh, they interact with my posts all the time, but I don't think they've bought a book, and it makes me feel weird about it, and I don't want to feel like that. I just want people to be like the
Yeah,
posts. That's enough. Like that's fine. Don't click on the links. It's fine. So
yeah.
yeah, I need to be less.
That's interesting. I don't have a feeling
Um,
because I think I follow a
yeah.
lot of authors who I would never buy their book as a consequence of a post. It just keeps them in my mind. So at some point, I
Hmm.
will buy a book, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm never there thinking, oh, if only I had a book to read right now, what shall I read?
Hmm.
Let me go on Instagram to find a new book. No, I'm on it. I have a book in front of me, obviously, at all times. I've got Kindle up on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to be on Instagram because I want to be distracted from the thing I'm meant to be doing. So it's just a
Yes.
nice way to
Yeah.
keep it top of mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to try and just find a fun way to do it. And I do think I've hung on to it because I want to make my social media time productive. And
Hmm.
I'm going to try and let go of that. That is not serving me well. It's making me feel
Yeah.
guilty for relaxing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I
And
need
maybe
to
we'll
relax.
come
People
back
need
to
to
this.
relax.
Maybe we'll come back to this at the start of next year when we do our like new Q1 goals, and we'll revisit this and we'll have a different opinion. But for right now, I'm feeling
Mhm.
good that social media should be fun, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
We've, yeah, we have got our Q3 goals coming up soon. So,
Hmm.
or Q3 recap. Q3 is already
Recap.
almost over. Yeah. Q3 review, that's what we call it. Yes,
Yeah.
no, that's going to be good. It's so useful to have those reviews and just kind of see,
Mhm.
even if you didn't do anything, why and what did you do, and kind of appreciate that. Absolutely loving doing those quarterly reviews.
Yeah.
And I think people also like them. They seem to get good listens, so hopefully everyone else is listening along and doing their own quarterly reviews.
Yes.
It's not quite time for the Q3 recap though. So next week's topic, we are continuing our series on planning for success with an episode on income plans. Do you have any initial thoughts on that?
At first, when I read this, I was like, income plans, what are we talking about? But then I had written a note to say that it was kind of like also side hustle stuff. So effectively,
Hmm.
it's like how to make money that's like not just the books, how to make money as a business, which can involve
Mm.
more than books. So this is something that I've been thinking about for the entire year, and I still
Hmm.
don't know. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about some of the ideas that I have, so I think I might save them for next week.
Hmm.
But yeah, like this is like I think it's a struggle because I don't feel like I have anything else that I can offer people. But I know that's not true.
Hmm.
That's just like a mindset thing.
Mm.
So that's yeah. I'm gonna be bringing mindset stuff next week.
Yeah, I think it is very mindsetty because, like, knowing you, I think you have a lot of skills that you give away for free that you don't
Hmm.
think you can charge for, and that is you could monetize them, but it's like, do you
Hmm.
want to? I think I'm in a related position in that, like, I have got things that people will pay me a lot of money to do, but it turns out I don't really want to do them, and that is
Yeah.
interesting. Uh, in a different way. So yeah, I think lots of stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave on a teaser in that I have tried and very temporarily succeeded at something that seemed like just free money for nothing and was great, and then instantly got uh, got some adult life corporate email about it, and it just like I need to go and do some more verification and checking things out. So they made a fun thing boring, but it is hopefully when I reinstate it, and I will tell more next week because I'm going to hope to be successful by then at the reinstating. Hopefully I will be back in like another little money train on the way. So yeah, lots of things I think to talk about next week, and it's a good topic as well to review because I do think
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff because it's so mindset. There's a lot of stuff that like you can get away without examining, and I would like us
Yeah.
to have a bit of chance to examine where am I really going to make money come from, or where could I make money come from that I'm not really exploring at the moment for various reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that chat. Hopefully everybody else is as well, and hopefully this podcast has been fantastic. Do recommend it to people, review, forward, share, tell everyone you know. Find us on Instagram. We are very fun there, or we're professionally fun.
Yes, professionally
But
fun.
yes, we will say goodbye here, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.